Hi everybody, I'm happy to finally be welcoming you back to Sketch to See. If you're one of our subscribers or followers, we owe you an apology for not producing any content in the last year. Yeah, I know, an entire year. Even though we have been absent, the project is still moving ahead full steam, and we are excited to share how far things have come. We are going to use this episode to fill you in a little bit on what we have been up to and to get the ball rolling again. So stay tuned and check out what our lives have looked like over the last year and what the yacht looks like now. Alright, so if you've been following our channel for a while, you know that up until last summer, we were doing our best to give you a couple videos a month and keep you updated on our construction. Things got tough for us in terms of keeping up with the channel when we decided to go back to Canada last August. We all know that the pandemic has made travel a lot more difficult than it used to be, and for us specifically, the pandemic meant complete closure of our borders, with no traffic aside from repatriation flights, some shipping, and select private charters. No commercial flights at all. Our borders were locked down on March 20th of 2020 and did not reopen again until November of 2021. Everything happened really quickly when the lockdown started in 2020, and we made the decision to stay in Cayman rather than go back to our extended family in Canada. While this, by all standards, was a good decision, come August of 2021, it had been almost 2 years since we had seen our family, and we had a few things going on that meant the sooner we could get back to Canada, the better. There were a few private citizens organizing charters, and we decided that that was probably the best way to get back to Canada. So on August 23rd, Jamie and I, our dog Goose, boarded a Sunwing plane that had been privately chartered with about 140 other Canadians, some more pets included, and started our very eventful journey back home. This could be a whole different episode. While it was great to finally see our family, and that was a big part of heading home, there were two major things we needed to accomplish while we were there. The home that we were living in while we were in Canada became Jamie's parents' house when we moved to Cayman. We had started some renovations on it while we were still there, and for a number of reasons, they were only partially completed. But as Jamie and I are getting ready to start our journey on the boat, her parents are getting ready to move on to something new as well. So the house is going to go up for sale. This meant that all of those renos, both interior and exterior, needed to be completed. The pandemic rules made it really difficult to hire anybody to work on this type of project, and having strangers in and out of your house at this point in time wasn't a great idea either. Jamie's dad and brother were spearheading the project at this point in time, but we knew we needed to head back and do what we could to help.
Okay, if we very quietly approach the ginger magic parger, often noted in the North American environment of Southern Ontario, you can see how diligent his efforts are to make his work basically streak-free.
I spent about 2 months there and Jamie a bit longer, and we made major headway there before the weather turned cold again. I'm happy to answer any questions about this project if you're interested in the details and want to reach out to me. There's lots to discuss, but for the purposes of this channel, I'll just say it was lots of honest hard work in the hot Canadian summer weather, and if anybody ever needs some serious masonry or tile work done, Jamie and I are your team. I also mentioned that Goose came with us. While we don't normally travel with the dogs, they have an awesome boarding facility that they go to. We call it summer camp. They take excellent care of them. This was a bit different. Goose needed to come with us to go to the dentist. Long story short, he's a prolific hunter of crabs, and he had managed to break 2 of his canine teeth on what he hoped were crabs, but actually turned out to be rocks. Here in Cayman, we don't have the facilities to perform the actual procedures that he needed. So this took a while to get things sorted out, long distance, with all the restrictions, but we managed it. And over the course of 3 appointments while we were in Canada working away, Goose got a sweet new grill. Please send all wrap video requests to Sketch to See and I will pass them on. Our borders were still closed in October when I made the decision to get home, back to Cayman, but I managed to grab a seat on another Canadian's small charter flight that they had set up. This was a bit crazy and also shows the power of the internet. Through different message boards we had access to, we saw a lot of people coming together to help others get where they needed to go. Jamie needed to stay a bit longer to make sure that Goose was clear to fly, but we also really had no idea how we were getting him home, as there were no more of the larger charter flights organized and still no commercial flights taking pets. By the time we got this sorted, Jamie and Goose got home to Cayman on the 26th of November. This put us right into Christmas holiday planning, and after that, it's a bit of a blur. I'll do my best to bullet point everything that kept us busy for the next 9 months. As we had just been away and more travel was next to impossible, we decided just to have a quiet Christmas in Cayman. Jamie's best friend and her family were set to move back to the UK in 2022, so we decided to spend Christmas together and gather anyone else we knew who wasn't able to get back to family for the holiday. In January, we organized for Jamie's parents to come here for the first time in 3 years to get them out of the Canadian winter for a little bit. Sorry about that. Had a quick breakdown and set up again because of a little bit of rain that came through. We had a great visit with them, and then at the beginning of February, we realized that the Miami Boat Show would be a great opportunity for me to touch base with HH's team and to meet Seth Hines as he took on his new role with HH. So I got ready and flew out to the show. Right before I did, my Facebook got hacked and my account was frozen. While we were able to get the money back that the hacker had taken, I lost the account, which means I lost access to Sketch to See Facebook page and my Planoly account, which allows us to prepare in advance all the content that gets uploaded to all of our social media pages. We have created new accounts, but we are still having trouble getting everything linked back together, and we may just end up having to start over again. We will do our best to keep you posted on that. We have had our house in Cayman listed for sale for a while now, and of course while I was away, the showings really started to pick up on that. So Jamie had to take care of the dogs, keep the house looking like we didn't live here, and coordinate with the realtor to get the showings done at the viewer's convenience. The showings went on into March, and it was my turn to step up because in the middle of the showings, agreeing to host a representative from my old high school who was traveling to Cayman, and planning a trip to the States in April to see my family for the first time in 3 years, Jamie got COVID. As luck would have it, I managed not to get it, but Jamie was in quarantine and feeling pretty rough for 10 days. We got through the rest of the month, got an offer on the house, and Jamie tested negative just 2 days before we were due to travel out. April was a whirlwind, but a good one. We saw my mom, my siblings, and friends we hadn't seen in years, and we both managed to stay healthy on our trip. We got back in mid-May with a few days to get organized. This meant viewing houses and trying to find somewhere to live. We are selling this house, the condo that we owned and had tenanted, and the house in Canada. And a sneaky boat update, which I'll give you more info on the next video, but the boat won't be sea trialing until the spring of 2023 now. So for all intents and purposes, this renders us homeless. Of course, this was perfect time to host, so mid-May, Jamie's younger brother got here. We figured if we were about to sell the house, if family was going to visit, now was the time. He was with us for 10 days, and on the day he left, Jamie's older brother and her niece came to stay for a week. Schedules didn't line up for them to come at the same time, so we had family with us for just under 3 weeks. We absolutely loved having the quality time with everyone, but that meant not much time for filming. After family left, we had 1 week and then took off to Fiji. We wouldn't have chosen to do such a big trip in the middle of everything we had going on, but this was something we had booked pre-pandemic for our 10th anniversary, and the resort was gracious enough to push our trip until things opened back up again without any further cost to us. But this meant that if we didn't use the trip now, on the rescheduled dates, we would lose it entirely, so off to Fiji we went. The travel situation was something out of a movie, a really, really bad comedy, and we wouldn't recommend a long haul like this to anyone right now. We made it there safely, and it was just the break we needed to clear our heads and get back on track. Fortunately or unfortunately, there was no Wi-Fi at this resort outside of their main office. So that was another 3 weeks of us not being able to get a video filmed and up for you guys. About 10 days after we got back from Fiji, Jamie headed back to Canada to finish the last bit of renos and staging and get her parents' house on the market. What we were hoping would be a week or two of work turned out to be most of the summer, so Jamie spent July, August, and the beginning of September in Canada, and I came for a couple weeks during July and again in August to complete a couple of the projects. But I had to keep on top of things here in Cayman, so we've been apart most of the last couple months. The house is finally completed and on the market, though, so that's one very big thing off the list. Jamie was back for about 4 days before I took off to attend an event with my best friend in California. I was on day 3 of my 10-day trip when we realized that Hurricane Ian was tracking a course directly for Cayman. And after Hurricane Grace last year, I didn't want to be away leaving Jamie to deal with the storm and the aftermath alone. And if it was a bad one, possibly not getting back to the island for quite some time. So while Jamie started to prep the house, I undertook the absolute mission of getting from middle of nowhere California back to the Caribbean. I was lucky both to have made it and that the course of the storm shifted so that we didn't take the worst of it. We were pretty exhausted by the time the storm passed, but extremely grateful as well. And that brings us up to this current day. The storm passed us 5 days ago from today, the day I'm filming. We're back to work, finalizing the details of our move, still on the search for somewhere to live, and getting the channel back up and running. During all of our craziness and the ups and downs of the last year, the team at HH has been moving full steam ahead. They have navigated a couple more lockdowns in China, but they are ever resilient, and aside from a slight delay from this autumn until next spring, the yacht is on track, and we can't wait to share some of the milestones that we have hit. We really appreciate your patience and understanding. We have been getting the messages and the comments wondering where we are, and we are grateful for the time and energy people have invested following along with the build. We hope that this satisfies everyone's questions, but if you do want to know more about anything I mentioned, I'm always happy for you to reach out to me. Please keep your eyes out for the next video, and we will get you all caught up on what the yacht looks like now. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about us or our yacht project, check out the other aspects of our channel, like the construction updates and the interviews. If you have not already, please like and subscribe to our channel. Just click the little bell to be notified when new episodes are released. For daily content, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, if you have any questions or just want to talk about yachts, please reach out to us at sketchtosee@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon.